טוב, בסייעתא דשמיא בעזרת השם, ט"ו בשבט שמח. Man is like the tree of the field. We have to know that. There's many lessons that you can learn from the tree. We have to know that we're sensitive like trees. We need to breathe well like trees. We need to pull our sources and our sustenance from the ruach. The Zohar says that we get our ruach, the tree gets its sustenance from the ruach. So too, the person gets it from the neshama, from the more spiritual things. Have good communication like trees. B'ezrat Hashem. And we have to now pull from the new fire that we have inside of us. Tu B'Shvat is when the new saraf is sap in Hebrew. Saraf is like to burn. Meaning that new fire that's coming up from the upcoming year. The fuel from last year, we're done with. Now we have to renew. We have to pull from a new fire, new aspirations, new yearning to connect to Hashem. B'ezrat Hashem, even now when we don't see any fruits on the tree, we don't see any of the fruition of that growth, we have to know that it's happening. We have to believe in it, and we have to ignite that fire. And if we do that, B'ezrat Hashem, in a few months, when you get to spring, we'll have beautiful fruits and blossoming flowers. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to learn in Ishtapchut HaNefesh and Meshivat Nafesh. We're up to letter Dalet in Ishtapchut HaNefesh. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Yafa tza'aka la'adam ben kodem gzar din, ben la'achar gzar din. Masechet Rosh Hashanah, Rabbi Yitzchak says, screaming out to Hashem, meaning davening, tefillah, praying to Hashem, it's good for a person whether you're before the decree or after the decree. You already got sentenced, you haven't got sentenced yet, you're about to go to court, you're after court, right? It's not just court in life where there's decrees on us all the time that we nullify and that we unfortunately sometimes bring upon ourselves. No matter what, you need to talk to Hashem. You're before the situation, after the situation, it's okay. You still should talk to Hashem. One more letter here. Haya'aroch shu'acha lo vatzar. Iyov. This is a pasuk from Iyov. Amar Rabbi Elazar, le'olam yagdim adam tefila letzara. A person should always pray before the problem actually arises. You should always be in a state of prayer before the problems. You don't need problems in order to turn to God. If you turn to God more often, you'll have less problems. Reish Lakish said, whoever puts immense effort down below in their tefillah, they won't cause pain up above. Meaning, if you really pour your heart out, you save yourself from a lot of trouble coming down. Rabbi Yohanan Omer, לעולם יבקש אדם רחמים, שהוא כל מאמצין את כוחו, ואל יהיו לו צרים מלמעלה. Rabbi Yohanan said, a person should always ask for mercy. שהוא הכל מאמצין את כוחו, that everybody he should have more power, that everything should make more power for him, more value lo tzarim meleman. He shouldn't have pain from up above. It's like we just learned. Put all your ma'amatz, put all of your effort into your tefillah. B'ezrat Hashem, there won't be a constriction from up above. Rashi says, "Shisayeu malachei hasharet levakesh rachamim." What does this mean? Rashi says that the ministering angels will help you in order to arouse mercy and ask for mercy from the heavens. Put in your effort in your tefillah, make it something. You're talking to God. You're having a conversation with the Creator of the whole entire world. Put your all into it. It can save you a lot of headache afterwards. Right? Good relationships, good communication save a lot of headaches in businesses and relationships and everything. One more. Vav Tanya. Amar Rabbi Yehuda kachaya minhago shel Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yehuda tells us this was the minhag, this was the custom of Rabbi Akiva. Shaya mitpalel im hatzibur. When he would pray with a minyan. Shaya mitpalel beno leven atzmo. And he had a different, when he would pray by himself. Adam menicho bezavit zo umotzao bezavit acheret. Rabbi Akiva would start praying there in the corner of the room. By the end of this tefillah, he would be on the other side of the room. Completely, physically changed, moved to a whole other room. Reb Zusha was like this as well. No matter what, Rabbi Akiva was known, once he starts praying, that man's walking, that man's moving, he's...
But not in Amidah.
וכל כך למה מפני קריאות והשתחוויות. Yes, also. Why? As he bowed down so much and he prostrated himself so much. You move, a person moves. But what is this meaning? and he threw himself down, he bowed down on the floor, is because he did it with might. He did it. So you're not staying in the same place. You get back up. You're moving a lot. It's not that he was frantic in the shul. It's just he was praying with all his might. It's very hard to stay in that one little tile when you're that enthusiastic with your prayer.
You're being moved by Hashem.
There you go. What were you gonna say?
They bowed down on the floor.
Wow.
Rabbi Akiva did live during the temple. They didn't have the Amidah at that time, but it would be interesting to know how they prayed at that time. It might still be at that time, in the time of Rabbi Akiva, they still bow down on the floor. Later on, that was nullified after we left the temple and stuff, but Rabbi Akiva lived during the temple. It would be interesting to... It might be that they only nullified the bowing down after Rabbi Akiva. It's very possible. Kama ilchata gavrata. How much, right? How many halachot we have on tefillah? It says about Chana as well, right? The mother of Shmuel, sefateya naot, that her lips were moving, and that's where we learn how to pray from, right? That you have to make sure that when you're praying, at least your lips are cutting the words. You're not mumbling one. And for her, she was silent. Even though she was quiet, she still made the movements, the physical movements that are needed in order to produce a word, right? With the right letters and enunciation and cutting the word properly. That's still needed because, again, all of our prayers need to come into this world. They need to be brought into physical action. It can't just stay a thought in my head. The whole point of prayer is to bring that energy out, to take it out. In order to do that properly, you have to say words properly. You have to cut your words properly. You can't just mumble it through. And we learn from her how to do the Amidah, from the tefillot that Chana did. By the way, tefillat Chana is out of this world prayer that should be said every single day. In Sephardi Siddur, it's always printed before Shacharit. Before you even start to talk to Hashem, you need to know who you're talking to. And Tfilat Chana is all about the ups and downs, that God could take the poorest person in the world and make them the richest person, and take the richest person in the world and make them the poorest. We have to know who we're talking to. Is the ability to do anything before you even start to pray. A little bit of consciousness of who you're standing in front of. So it's a good practice to say Tfilat Chana, the prayer of Chana. In the Midrash Shocher Tov from Shmuel, the rabbis say there on the pasuk Vaya ki irbata litpalel el Hashem. There's a pasuk that says, and it was that when you increased your prayer to God. From here, we learn shekol hamarbe betfilah unaneh. Whoever increases their prayers and amplifies the amount that they pray, they get answered. Zat Hashem, let's get into Meshivat Nafesh. By the way, some people asked, is it called Revive My Soul, Restore My Soul? So the book that I have in my house is called Revive My Soul. I know the classic one that's online with the fire on it is called Restore My Soul. What I don't like, though, is that Restore My Soul that's online is literally, when you get it, like this thick, and the Revive My Soul at my house is like that thick. So I don't know what the difference of the books are, but for sure, the one that I have in my house has all of these stories. I don't know what to say. The one that's in English that's called Restore My Soul really has the full entire book.
I think it has the full thing.
How is my one so much bigger? You gotta see.
The font, I think.
No, but I also have an English print. We'll see. We'll compare it. But just so you guys know, Revive My Soul is the one that comes out of the Nanach Israel Odesser publishing house. And the Restore My Soul came from BRI. And they're both good. They're both amazing. Zat Hashem. טוב, משיבת נפש ג' החברים המקורבים לצדיקי אמת ואוחזים את עצמם בהם ראוי שיחזק זה את זה ויראו זה את זה. The friends that are close to a true tzadik, they have to strengthen themselves and hold on and strengthen one another and to arouse one another. Right? Like all of us here, we're connected to a tzadik across the street. Being connected to tzaddik is not an easy thing, right? You guys are on the beginning prongs of getting connected, but as you get closer, sometimes it gets a little bit hot in the kitchen, right? And you can get burnt. Spare Avot outright. So each one needs strength, each one needs to give chizuk to the other. ויתקר התחזקות הוא בגודל כוח הצדיק האמת שהוא גדול כל כך עד שיכול לעלות גם נפשו הפגומה ביותר ולא יצאה עדיין מחול אל הקודש אפילו כחוט השרה. What's the main chizuk that we need to give to each other? that the tzaddik, the true tzaddik, has the ability to take even your messed up situation and to elevate you to higher levels, to take you out of your funk, to take you out of the bad place that you find yourself in, and to know it could be that I still haven't even left mundane things yet. I haven't even stepped into the gates of holiness yet. To know that it could be that that is the situation, but you're connected to the person that has the ability to do that to you. You're connected to a person that has the ability to take you and to teach you the paths and get you out of the mundane and bring you into at least the gates of holiness. גם אותו יכול הצדיק לעלות לחדש לטובה בגודל כוחו. וזה עיקר ההתחזקות של כל אחד. The main thing we can strengthen ourselves with is that we have to know that tzaddikim have the actual ability to elevate each one of us to another level. If you don't believe that, it's going to be very hard to connect to that person, listen to him, receive from him, and do what he tells you, and apply the paths and strategies he has to connect to Hashem. You don't believe that he has the ability to take you out of your funk. So the main thing that you need in order to connect to God is to know that your Rebbe has the ability to connect you to God. כי אפילו הגרוע שבגרועים יהיה מי שיהיה, אפילו אם עכשיו עובר עליו מה שעובר. כל זמן שהוא אוחז את עצמו בצדיק האמת, יש לו תקווה טובה לנצח. It doesn't matter, Reb Nachman says, it doesn't matter whoever you are. Could be the worst person in the world. You've done whatever sins. If you hold on to a tzadik emet, to a true righteous person, there's still hope for you. If that relationship is still open, that you value and cherish a relationship with a person that all day long focuses on God, there's hope for you. So no matter what, we have to strengthen ourselves to at least not move away from the tzaddikim. We can go through what we're going through, but there's things that they're bringing us closer to Hashem. They illuminate our life. They teach us the path. I can't let anything prevent me from having that, because I need it. גם צריכים שכל אחד יחזק את חברו ויראו את זה ויחזקו זה בעבודתו יתברך ויזכיר כל אחד את חברו כל העצות הטובות שיודעים ומבינים כל אחד כפי מה שקיבלו מרבם. Another thing we also have to give each other chizuk on as friends is any path that I know, anything that I know that can help you connect to Hashem, any advices, any zgulot, anything that I can tell you, not that I'm telling you to do it, but anything that I can share with you, an advice, a piece of advice of how to connect to God, we have to give that to each other. We have to try to give chizuk to our friends. We see a friend having a bad day. Okay, you learned about dancing and clapping your hands and it elevates your mood, and just faking a smile even for 30 seconds releases the certain hormones. Okay, tell them that. Give them the chizuk. Get them out of the funk. Don't let anybody stay down. We're all in this together, and we all have to look after each other. At least a nice word of, hey brother, pick yourself up. It's okay. You're going to be all right. Everything turns, everything changes. You know, if you're having strong time with shacharit, okay, focus here more, do this less, don't beat yourself up. These things keep a person going, keep a person alive. Last one for today. We have to know this is an essential Torah. Hashem Yitbarach takes immense joy and splendor and pride out of the most simple Jew in the whole entire world. Afilu Poshei Yisrael, even the criminals, the worst Jews that you have in the world, because Baruch Hu loves them, as long as they have the name Israel on them, as long as they themselves want to be part of the Jewish people, they themselves like the name that Israel is on them. Again, we're not justifying their actions in any way. They have to stop their actions. But if a Jew is a Jew, is a Jew, no matter what you did, and Hashem loves you. The Poshe Israel, the criminal of Israel, the person who's not doing good, the fact that he's still a Jew and he has a connection, and here and there he's going to do something Jewish, as long as he has the name of Israel on them, Hashem has a deep relationship with him. Israel Asher Bachar Itpa'ar. That's what the Pasuk says. Israel, it's by way of you that I get glorified and splendored in the world, and it's the pride that I have in the world. Hashem says that. About who? Israel. So whoever has the name Israel on them, Afilu Poshei Israel. Even the criminals of Israel. So what are they of? Israel. The name Israel is on them, Hashem loves them. Hashem wants for them. Hashem has hope for them and wants them to come back. Therefore, it's forbidden for a person to have despair on themselves connecting to Hashem. God forbid. Even if you've blemished and made a ton of mess, God forbid. Hashem's love and endearment for you hasn't stopped yet. You're still called a Jew. Hashem still loves you. No matter what you did. Sorry. It's like Yonah. You can try to run away. A whale's going to come swallow you up and spit you right back up where you need to be. Doesn't matter how far the whale went, like Uber to your destination. You can't run away from God. As long as you don't give up on that relationship, you can still come back. You can still come back. The main way to do this and to come back and to stay connected and to not give up, no matter what you've done, is by way of people of truth. That they're able to find the good and the unique spark of Hashem that's in every single person, even in the worst people possible, and to bring them back to Hashem Itbarach. The people of truth, the people that are connected to truth, the people that speak truth, the people that find the truth and seek out the truth. Because again, what's the truth? This person's a criminal or he's Israel? Which one's more true? His physical actions or his essence in his soul? And the tzadik that's able to look at the soul and see the good, so that's Reish Pepet, that's a Zamra. In a second, he can make you do tshuva. Zat Hashem. Bracha v'atzlacha. Guys, I'm coming to America. If you want to meet up, send me a message.